And we want to welcome back on the show Phil Ochs, who split for an hour and came back with an entirely new perspective. Now he hates John Wayne.
Boy, he's the absolute lowest. I never realized until a minute ago.
See, you went out, and I'm glad you... Actually,
He stopped me in the street and said, take that. And he says, that's the Navy.
That's
and
Navy.
I said, well, that's where you really are.
All right. We want to discuss a couple of things with you tonight. We did already, but a couple of more things, which we, for those people who heard the show earlier. First, something which we had not mentioned, but you turned us on to the sounds. We had asked you the last time that you were here that the kind of music that you dug, and you had referred to the Everly Brothers.
Right.
In fact, wasn't it you who told me that referred to the Beatles as the four Everly Brothers when they first started in England before they really became famous? Was it you?
I don't know if I meant, no. I don't
Well, somebody else then.
I talked about their sound influence. You know.
About the Everly Brothers sound
on the Beatles, oh yeah.
Yeah. And we dug up some sounds, and some of their tunes really sound great.
Yeah. And the trick, they're undated because they're really they're the genuine article. You know, they really were into music, and they were so. Maybe they still are. They're just almost uncanny closeness of harmonies. It's really beautiful. I mean, one of the really classic cases of country singers merging into the pop field with no apologies and not having to change anything and just brilliant harmonies.
Straight ahead,
right?
They just did the.
I mean, I think they're still better than most of the stuff around today. Great majority of it.
Let's sort of refresh a couple of memories. This is a tune which Phil selected and which we concur wholeheartedly with. Walk Right Back. That's the Everly Brothers. That tight harmony there is very groovy. That's a blend of voices, I think, that you very seldom hear. I mean, the fact is, sometimes you lose sight of some of the older sounds, that what was happening, that there was some good singing and good musicianship in those records. And as I say, you can't fool the country people, but they just were able, as you said, without prostituting their own image or try to be commercial, as you were trying to say about the protest writers who were, Phil had mentioned before that if you sit down, and he never sits down to write a protest song, he'll write a song for a song's sake. He'll say, hey, that's a groovy chord, or he'll get an idea and project what he really feels at the time writing a song to try to entertain or communicate. and that sometimes if you try to be something or say something and you want to get that message across, it becomes a contrived song and you get nothing across except that you're standing on a soapbox. And those are the political type of songs which are sung at rallies, and that's all. But and the same thing with a group who says, hey, let's get into the pop market and we'll now do this. They just went ahead with the sound that they've had all the time as singers in Tennessee with those Acuff Rose songs.
Sure, they made it when they were 16, you know, and what they were doing when they were 16 is still beautiful.
Yeah. There's another tune that you selected. Tell me about
this is Claudette. Now here's really just like a classic case of rhythm. You know, really beautiful rhythm. I mean, kind of stuff that you don't. The thing is, you know, this whole electric thing going on. I'm still back in the 50s. I guess I'm a traditionalist that way because like these guys are doing things just with the sound of the guitar and then using that sound in direct relation to their voices. I mean, really perfect balance. It's not a question of freaking out with a broken speaker and say, hey, that's a nice, you know, rough sound on the speaker. Let's use that and get a hit. These guys are everything they're doing is so. Listen to their interrelation between rhythm and harmony and vocal and guitar and rhythm. The type of rhythm guitar they're into here, which I maintain is totally undated now, or I think will be undated, you know, 50 years from now too.
Claudette, Everly Brothers.
Oh, oh, Claudette. Oh, Claudette. I got a brand new baby and I feel so good. She loves me even better than I thought she would. I'm on my way to her house and I'm plumb out of breath. And when I see her tonight, I'm gonna squeeze her to death. Claudette, pretty little pet Claudette, never make me fret, Claudette, but she's the prettiest little girl that I've ever met. I get the best of love and that I'll ever get from Claudette, pretty little pet Claudette. Oh, oh, Claudette. Well, I'm a lucky man, my baby treats me right. She's gonna let me hug and kiss and hold her tight. When the date is over and we're at her front door, and when I kiss her goodnight, I'll holler more, more, more. Claudette, pretty little pet Claudette, never make me fret, Claudette, but she's the prettiest little girl that I've ever met. I get the best love and that I'll ever get from Claudette. Oh, pretty little pet Claudette. Oh, oh, Claudette. When me and my new baby have a date of 3, I'm gonna ask my baby if she'll marry me. I'm gonna be so happy for the rest of my life. And when my brand new baby is my brand new wife, Claudette, pretty little pet Claudette, never make me fret, Claudette, but she's the prettiest little girl that I've ever met. I get the best love and that I'll ever get from Claudette, pretty little pet Claudette. Oh, oh, Claudette. Claudette. Oh, oh, Claudette.
All right, that's Claudette, and as Phil Ochs pointed out, the sound that is still happening, and very tight harmony and very groovy rhythm guitars, and those are the Everly Brothers, little gold sounds for you. We now want to get to Phil Ochs as a performer, and Phil Ochs and what happened to him today. Phil, of course, has written so many, great songs recorded by all the folk or attitude artists. And we want to find out what happened with him today over at the UN when he performed some of the songs that he has written about religion for a group of ministers from all over the United States. We'll do that, but first... All right. This is Phil Ochs.
The other night, a voice came to me. Turned out it was God. Said, Ochs, wake up, this is God here, over. I said, you're putting me on, of course, Dylan. So he did a few tricks. He moved the bed back and forth. Trembling, I asked, what is it you want, O Lord? He said, well, frankly, Phil, I went downtown the other day, saw the greatest story ever told, couldn't believe it. It's gone too far. Something must be done about Christianity. Then woof, in a puff of smoke, he disappeared. The next morning I woke up, had a few drinks to realize it was all true, and decided to do something about Christianity. But what could I do? Me, a poor, humble boy from the sticks. Then I remembered I was a songwriter. Aha, so I sat down with pen in hand over my typewriter and ended up writing this next song, which is a hymn about Christianity, actually an anti-hymn, the first anti-hymn, folks. That's the melody. Christian cannons have fired at my days with the warning beneath the holy blaze, and bow to our authority, say the canons of Christianity. Oh, the children will be sent to schools. Minds of clay are molded to the rules. Learn to fear all of eternity. Warn the canons of Christianity. Holy hands will count the money raised. Like a king, the Lord is richly praised on a cross of diamond majesty, say the canons of Christianity. Missionaries will travel on crusades. The word is given, the heathen souls are saved. Conversions to our morality, sigh the canons of Christianity. Come the wars and turn the rules around. Defend your soul on the battleground, and the Lord will march beside me, drone the cannons of Christianity. Cathedral walls will glitter with their gold, and the sermons speak through silver roads. Building castles amidst the poverty, say the canons of Christianity. Worship now and wash your sins away. Drop the coins, fall to your knees and pray. Cleanse the world of all hypocrisy. Smile the canons of Christianity. Christian cannons have fired at my day with the warning beneath the holy blaze, and bow to our authority, say the canons of Christianity. Cry the canons of Christianity.
The Canons of Christianity. This was performed in concert in Boston. We want to get the meaning of that particular song and what happened singing songs like that to a group of ministers at the UN today from Phil Ochs. And we'll do that after we remind you here on WOR-FM 98.7 on your FM dial here in New York City. I want to ask Phil, the canons, of course, are the laws, right? And it also, I guess, means the weapons.
Right, both.
And is that, you spelt it what, in a different way or context?
I don't remember how I spelled it. I usually, I guess, I don't even know. I think I spell it one N.
One N.
I think I spell it one N and then say, or like in parentheses, two meanings or something.
I see.
I spell it with one N, then I put a little cannonball next to it.
What's the reaction when you do that song? Of course, you did it in Boston, and what's the usual reaction to a song like this?
Well, it usually goes over, it's placed in context. There's the stuff that I do in concert is all set up in a certain pattern, so that it's all like theatrically done. There's never any place where there's too many slow things or too many fast things. It's always like a song like that would come after like Liberal or some funny song,
I see.
and it always goes over fine. There's no, except for the time I was crucified, and
I see.
but that was just a joke, But
what happened today at the UN? I mean, with songs like "Cross My Heart" and "Crucifixion" and etc. What was the reaction from the ministers over at the UN today when you performed for them?
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. There's always a natural affinity. I used to sing at the Unitarian Church, and I've sung in all kinds of places. But the thing, there's a natural correlation between art and theology, and religion. There's and art. Let's say art and morality. Somebody said that art is the nephew of God. Because like a lot of people maintain that the way to art is like art comes from a Latin word meaning method or way, and it's like a way to look at beauty. It's a way, and beauty leads to truth. True beauty leads to truth, and art, and so and of course the church historically has used art, and the point is like the modern church, today's church is somewhat staid, and they're all somewhat I think somewhat embarrassed because they can't. They're dealing with the materialist world, and they're supposed to be a spiritual force, but they can't really contact,
Can't
them.
break through.
Yeah, and they're considered old hat and dull, and this because in many ways they are, because they really the church really has lost a sense of the aesthetic. They're relying on the old icons, the old images, the old ways of doing things, but so like whenever I sing for people, for ministers and so forth. It's a complete natural bond because they'll listen to these songs and say, yeah, right, that's what we're trying to say. And
I find the same thing. Recently, I've had the opportunity of appearing on a lot of shows, religious shows, run by Father Kennedy and Reverend Long, and I'm in the midst of a serious book about various subjects, and one is about religion, and the subtitle of the book, the working second part of the book, is God is not dead, the church is. And it was when I explained this to them and all of the churches and all of the denominations, there seemed to be a great deal of really honest enthusiasm for a book that could remove itself not as a theologian, but somebody from outside of the church who observes, because they honestly are looking for that ability to communicate, and they're hung up with two problems. One, how to get through with the new generation who think in different terms, and yet at the same time pacify the traditionalists, right, who they could sometimes, by going overboard the other way, alienate. And there is a very serious problem that they do have, and I know that there are so many people of the cloth who are very, very conscientiously looking and seeking advice and ways to be able to overcome a lot of this. And the answer, I don't believe, is playing rock and roll music in church, because that acts in a way as like a blocker, bringing people in. And then right, what happens there? How do you communicate and how can you overcome a lot of the questions that are asked, which seem like fairy tales. And I don't think people are in that way. I mean, years ago, blind faith or superstition or whatever you had, I think maybe it was necessary. Today, I don't think you can ask people just to have utter blind faith. It hasn't worked, let's say. That's the problem. And how do you communicate? I think you have to go back to the basics, the actual teachings, not the interpretations of the various denominations.
Right. It's all been the drama's been distorted.
So it doesn't really make, I'm very pleased to hear, because this seems to be universal, the acceptance of songs which actually talk about some of the things that people think. They want to know what people think.
Yeah,
and I think some of
they had a dancer there right before I went on named Mateo. It was really a beautiful cat. Very, he's like he's totally physical. He's very lithe, and he was doing a demonstration of like Eastern dances, hand movements, what it meant to hold your hands up, and bring them down and so forth, and like he said, he was looking. He wanted to see. He talked about the original church feeling of joy. I mean, like that, like the original Christian revelation. I mean, a real revelation, a real feeling of joy, a real positive. Also an animal enjoyment. Really to feel God, and they had dances. I mean, there was a dance thing going on then that he says has been totally destroyed by ritual, of the church. Where he said he'd like to see that there's a return to something something about choir boys, and he made fun of choir boys, and then he said, but there's a real beauty of boys dancing who really feel it, who really feel this communion, and he did some dance movements, and he talked about how the church has lost this, and he would love to get them back into that kind of the original before the church, before the organization, before the bureaucracy, before a bunch of old men sit around and debate laws, all of which have no real meaning because people are alive, people breathe, they want to jump, and that's what religion has to be. Otherwise, it's a ritual and a false ritual and much more damaging to real religion. I mean. The people that get involved with church rhetoric are doing more damage to the spirit than help. And this guy, I can't explain it to you exactly because he was very physical the way he talked about it, and he used his body, used his hand motions to explain a lot of things about to these people, and it was really quite a meeting today. It really was.
I can imagine. This is WOR-FM. Murray the K here with Phil Ochs. And we'll identify.
The sound is 98.7 New York.
We'll continue. We're going to play some more of the Phil Ochs tunes for you. First, however, this is a new tune from a new album, the Hollies. I think the best album they have made to date. And I think, talking about truth, this tune is called Tell Me to My Face, the Hollies.
Though you try to justify the meaning of the note you sent this evening to my door, you're not deceiving me. I had thought that you'd have known much better. Sending round an unsigned letter, facing me would be much better now. Is it just that you can't face the future with me? Can't you tell me to my face? You just took the coward's way to say goodbye. How would you feel here in my place? At last I think I'm glad to rid myself of you. I'm sad to think about the time I'll have to go. Then I'll turn and walk away, so please don't beg for me to stay, 'cause I know just what I will say to you. Is it just that you can't face the future with me? Can't you tell me to my face? just took the coward's way to say goodbye, how would you feel here in my place? Tell me to my face you're leaving now. Tell me to my face you're leaving now. Though you try to justify the meaning of the note you sent this evening to my door, you're not deceiving me. I hadn't thought that you'd have known much better. Sending round an unsigned letter, facing me would be much better now. Is it just that you can't face the future with me? Can't you tell me to my face? You just took the coward's way to say goodbye. How would you feel here in my place?
Okay, that's Tell It to My Face. Well, that's an Eastern bag, if you like Eastern bags. Of course, we do have some West bags on sale today, but if you dig the Eastern bag, that's all yours. And that's the Hollies at 16 minutes after the hour of 9. Our special guest tonight, Phil Ochs. And I want to tell you about a happening place called Steve Paul's Fabulous The Scene at 301 West 46th Street, which is just west of 8th Avenue, New York. And there, Steve's idea is to create an atmosphere of presenting very significant music and even madness, wherever it may be. And they've got all the atmosphere to create that with their art displays there and turned-on lights, turned-on people, and even turned-on potato chips. And they've got dancing concerts that you can listen to, dance to, love to. Love to. Warmth, friends. The whole idea.
Attention, Leary, Howard Leary.
Yeah. What happened to Timothy?
Well,
he's there too.
is he?
Yeah. He's floating up. I see him there now. He just went over Chicago, they got a report. About 11,000 feet. Say, regularly appearing at the scene, Skipper and his scary karate show. And, he scares you, man. He does some wild things. And the incredible Tiny Tim, who's got his own little bag. And that's the way he starts off the show, with a little paper bag from Klein's or someplace. Great news for the scene people. All week, the Young Bloods are happening there. And they are a group that's really grooving. And the Free Spirits appearing this entire week. I think you'll dig the Young Bloods and the Free Spirits. And to get information, if you want to know where in the show and all that jazz, call JU2-5760. JU2-5760. This is a tune which was a pop hit for Joan Baez. And a tune which many people have recorded. And I think it's, including the composer of the song, Mr. Phil Ochs, There But For Fortune.
Show me a prison, show me a jail, show me a prison man whose face is growing pale, and I'll show you a young man with many reasons why, and there but for fortune may go you all right. Show me an alley, show me a train, show me a hobo who sleeps out in the rain, and I'll show you a young man with many reasons why, and there but for fortune may go you all right. Show me the whiskey had to fall. Show me the ruins of the buildings once so tall, and I'll show you a young land with so many reasons why. And there but for fortune may go you or I, or I.
Okay, that is There But For Fortune, again in concert with Phil Ochs. Where was that, New York or Boston?
Gee, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay, but that was in...
Someplace in between.
It's 21 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, and incidentally, you just have a couple of minutes left to vote in our Record Review Board battle tonight of all the winners of the past week. If you're voting for the Phaetons, that's Where Are You, the Casualaires, Dance, 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 Blues Project, Steve's Song, Joanne Morgan's Just How Loud, Simon and Garfunkel's At the Zoo, and The Who's Happy Jack. The telephone number is UL57110, and then you can... We'll have the results for you by about 9:30, so you do have just a few minutes left to call. On WOR-FM, we'll take a moment out for this and then back. Right here at our show tonight, we, as Phil Ochs has been sitting with us, we've been talking about what everyone's talking about, the fact that someone who was supposed to be in the plot that the District Attorney of New Orleans had uncovered about the fact that there was a plan for the assassination of the late President Kennedy. And the fellow who was, and I think he left a statement or a note to the fact that he was supposedly going to be the getaway pilot of an airplane. And he left that note saying that people are saying that supposedly he was also a private detective. And so tonight, like William Powell used to say, as the Thin Man, if you, being a movie freak as you are, right? He would have said, the plot thickens. And
It sure does.
now we get into that. It's getting, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if the Louisiana attorney really has something or not, because I thought that he would have made the arrest before the announcement came out.
Oh, I just don't have any idea.
Well, between that and the CIA, Ramparts, of course, is a magazine which got into that first, right? And
yeah.
That's started there. But I tell you what, we'll forget about the CIA and Ramparts tonight, because we've already we've discussed religion and songs. We can't, cure the world in one simple night, Phil.
That's for sure. But I was going to mention one thing.
What was that?
There's one thing. Well, that's another serious thing, but I wanted to mention it tonight. If I could. There's a guy named Bernard Fall. Have you heard Bernard Fall?
Yes. He was the writer who was anti-Vietnam. He was really putting down the war, right?
He was, but not really. Bernard Fall was killed yesterday. But it wasn't that he was putting down the war. It was that he was very real guy. He was in the French underground. He was involved with a lot of things before this, and he was around. He just wrote his last book just came out about Dien Bien Phu. He was there at Dien Bien Phu in Vietnam at the time, and
at the French.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, he was one of the most objective reporters, and he was more aware of the complexities. I mean, he really was detailed and really knowledgeable. I think one of the top two or three, if not the top knowledgeable reporter that was read by Pentagon people as well as anti-war people. He was respected from all sides, and as a matter of fact, the Pentagon made some statement about him being killed, regretfully. And but he wrote a book called Vietnam Witness, and I just wanted to say that since he was just killed, I think it'd be most important that as many people as possible are made aware of his writing, because his writing is, if there's any one source you could turn to, and say, well, what a mess. Everybody says, what a mess. How can we possibly decipher anything out of this? There's so much back and forth. I think one of the most knowledgeable accounts, I'd like to recommend for everybody possible to read it, is this Vietnam Witness by Bernard Fall.
I perhaps used an ill-advised term. What I meant to say, he was anti-Vietnam policy. of the United States policy in Vietnam. On WOR-FM, it's now 27 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, and Phil Ochs has been our guest, and we, right about here, I think, play your number one tune, What's Happening, just to show you that we've got a broad spectrum right around here. Mm-hmm.
Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You persuaded me to love you, and I did, but instead of tenderness, I found heartache instead. Into your arms I fell so unaware of the love that gets down this way. You closed the door to your heart, and you turned the key, locked your love away from me. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You made me love you, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You said loving you would make life beautiful with each passing day. But as soon as love came into my heart, you turned and you just walked away. You stripped me of my dreams. You gave me faith, then took my hope. Look at me now. Look at me. See what love and you have done to me. Look at my face. See how crying has left its trace. After you made me all your own, then you left me all alone. You made your words sound so sweet, knowing that your love I couldn't keep. My heart cries out for your touch, but you're not there, and the lonely cry fades in the air. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You made me love you, oh my darling, now you're gone. You made me love you, oh my darling, now you're gone.
Hey, now you're gone, darling. That's the number one sound. That's the Supremes who, every time they make a record, it just automatically you'd say, well, it's going to be 1 week or 2 weeks before they get there. It's 9:30. We'll identify for you.
The sound is WOR-FM, New York.
And on WOR-FM, let's just remind you that the Action House is where it's happening. They're in Island Park, Long Island. This weekend, Friday and Saturday night, the Blues Project and the Five Illusions, they'll be the star attractions. The Blues Project, who started at the Cafe Orgogo in Greenwich Village, are really happening now, and they got a brand new single out. Both sides are happening. No Time Like the Right Time and Steve's Song, and also their new album, Projection. The Blues Project, the Five Illusions, this Friday and Saturday at the Action House. On Sunday, a special show, Smokey Robinson, The Miracles. And this great group is really out of sight. Not only is he a great writer and record producer, but one of the really fine performing acts and groups around. And you'll hear them do all of their big hits, including their new one, Love I Saw in You Was Just a Mirage. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles plus the Five Illusions this Sunday for a special show at the Action House, which is very easy to get to. It's located on Austin Boulevard in Island Park. It's newly decorated with a groovy snack bar. For more information, call 516-889-8530. Next week, the Action House will feature the Young Rascals and many other exciting groups. So they're really making that scene out there at the Action House with all of your favorite happening people. Friday and Saturday, the Blues Project, the Five Illusions. Sunday, Smokey Robinson, the Miracles, plus the Five Illusions. Right now, we would like to, first of all, we'd like to tell everybody that about a few people who I'm really indebted to, and I feel very good. We decided after a year to come back and do, in-person shows. We've been concentrating on our TV specials and what have you, and now coming back on the air radio. That we have taken the RKO 58th Street Theater over at 58th and 3rd because it's a very groovy theater. And we are going to try to do a very ambitious type of presentation. We'll be presenting people like Mitch Ryder and The Who from England and Smokey and the Miracles and Wilson Pickett, of course, starring in our show. And then we'll bring in people like the Blues Project and the Chicago Loop and Ike and Tina Turner, just because this record turned me on. I just had to bring them in, and the Ikeettes and their review. And the Hardly Worth It Players with Senator Bobby and all those wild things. And we, of course, add to that, a few of the other important acts. But what has really made me feel good was the fact that a few of the people outside of the, what you call the rock bag or what have you, have grooved on the idea so much of our presenting music in 5 dimensions. The stage, the big blow-ups of television screens on the sides of the balcony. In other words, not only do you see them in 1 dimension, as you see them perform live on the stage, but we're going to have closed-circuit TV whereby the television screens will blow up 14-foot images of the artists as they are performing on stage, so that everybody's got like a really right up close with the artist. And then behind them we've got a 40-foot wide screen which will relate both abstractly and definitively the lyrical content of the songs or the things that they're performing to, both from a comedic standpoint and other standpoint. And it's a whole new kind of presentation. And what we have in the show is a fusion of, I think, all the attitudes of music that I feel are compatible with each other. And while the people of concert stature have something to say, I want to take this opportunity to thank Phil Ochs, who will be there on our opening night, and the special nighttime performance is coming on and I feel it more or less as an endorsement of what we're trying to do here on the show, and also in the fusing of the kinds of music. And I want to tell you how much grateful I am to you and people like Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel, who will be there too in the show on special nights, and Judy Collins and the Blues Magoos and people like that. And I just want to tell you how that of all the things that have happened, this is probably the nicest thing, and I do thank you for coming on.
What can I say? Well, I can say just thank you for getting me, in this kind of scene at all. This has been a groovy thing all the way around, because I'm getting that kind of song into a format like this is, something I frankly never expected ever to happen.
Well,
so it happened, and now,
that's news alone. Phil Ochs and Murray the K. Now, there it is, right?
What a weird combination.
There it is.
Who would have ever thought?
Never thought to this day. Speaking of Phil Ochs, this is a tune which has been recorded by Peter and Gordon and Jim and Gene. We forgot about them. They'll be there. And this is Phil Ochs' tune called Flower Lady, and we'll do the Jim and Gene version for you.
Millionaires and paupers walk the hungry streets. Rich and poor companions of the restless me. Strangers in a foreign land, strike a match with a trembling hand. Learn too much to ever understand. But nobody is buying flowers from the flower lady. Lovers quarrel, snarl away their happiness. Kisses crumble in a web of loneliness. Smitten by
nobody is buying flowers from the flower lady. Soldiers disillusioned come home from the war. Sarcastic students tell them not to fight no more. And they argue through the night. Black is black and white is white. Walk away both knowing they are right. But nobody is buying flowers from the flower lady. But nobody is buying flowers from the flower lady. People aged, people almost to their knees, complain about the present using memory. Never found their pot of gold. Wrinkled hands found weary holes. Each line screams out, you're old, you're old, you're old. But nobody is buying flowers from the flower lady. And the flower lady hobbles home without a sail. Tattered shreds of petals leave a fainting trail. Not a pause to hold the road. Even she no longer knows. The lamp goes out, the evening is closed. But nobody's buying flowers from the flower lady.
Murray the K back with you on WOR-FM. The results of the Record Review Board battle is brought to you by Pepsi-Cola. It was very close tonight. We had over 1,000 votes. In last place was the Casualier's Dance, Dance, Dance. That takes care of that. In fifth place was Joanne Morgan's Just How Loud Must the Music Be? And then with 183 votes, showing up very well, is The Who, Happy Jack. And then there was a tie for second place. They each had 237 votes, Simon and Garfunkel's At the Zoo and Steve's Song by the Blues Project. And the winning record, 281 votes, came in for the Phaetons, Where Are You? So that's the story as we received it from the... the answering service. That's where we got it from our operators. And that's the results. Listen, Phil Ochs will be up at Hunter College in a concert, which we understand is sold out. You can check into it, but I don't think there are any tickets. That's this coming Saturday. And when you're there, Phil, it may do well. I could use a lot of, press and publicity because this is a very ambitious project of mine. And I hope that maybe your folk audience will, maybe you can tell them that you're going to appear on opening day at our show at RKO 58, because I can use all the publicity I can get.
Well, of course.
Maybe after you do a song about
everybody needs publicity. Everybody. Back to the beginning. Moses needed publicity.
Moses needed publicity?
Yeah, I heard a joke. About Moses. A joke so clean it can be said on the radio.
Yeah, well,
believe it or not.
Go ahead. All we got to lose is a license.
This is a joke that I was down in Virginia a couple of days ago with they had a weekend in Virginia with James Farmer and Richmond Flowers and me and Tom Wolfe.
Oh, there's a quartet, right?
Virginia just seceded.
Yeah.
That's the next report. But Here's Farmer down south, and he has to tell a joke that's going to win him over, right? So he told him this Moses joke. He said Moses was talking to God, and God was his PR man, and he says, hey, you're my PR man. You're not doing enough. You can do a lot more than this, can't you? And God said, well, look, exactly what can you really do? What can you really do? You got to give me something to work with.
That's a typical PR man's line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Moses said, look, I'll tell you what. I'll get the Jews out of Egypt, and we'll go through the Red Sea, and I'll cleave the water and walk through. And when the soldiers follow, I'll personally, close the water and drown them all to the last man. And God said, hey, if you can do that, I'll guarantee you 5 pages in the Bible.
Okay, very good. I like that. In fact, I'm going to use it. Okay. I don't know where. Maybe in the next big
Well, it's
epic.
very, very big in theology circles.
Oh, yes? Okay. That's it. From Phil Ochs. And tonight, incidentally, you came in on a song that we had played before you got here, and I thought we'd play it because everybody in the business, I guess, is grooving on this tune. Jack Nietzsche did the arrangement. Phil Spector produced it. Ike and Tina Turner's production. Tina Turner's River Deep, Mountain High.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me fly, and it gets higher. Be my love. I love you, yeah, River deep, Mountain high, yeah. I love you, I cry. Oh, I love you, baby, baby. When you were a young boy, did you have a puppy that always followed you around? Well, I'm gonna be as faithful as that puppy. No, I'll never let you down. 'Cause it goes on like a river flows, and it gets bigger, baby, and heaven knows, and it gets sweeter, baby, as it grows. I love you, you're mine, yeah, River deep, Mountain high, yeah, yeah.
That's River Deep, Mountain High, and that's Ike and Tina, and Marie the K here with you. And Phil, I want to thank you for coming by again. We practically spent the whole night here together. I wish you a lot of luck. I know you'll really have another successful concert up at the Hunter College.
Well, thanks again.
And we'll look forward when the new album comes out, which I hope will be soon.
I expect it'll be out within 2 months to the day.
Okay. Maybe we can get it a day ahead of time.
Oh, I'll sneak it. I'll sneak it out. Sneak out the tapes and bring them up here.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Are you using electric? Are you using electric in this?
On one cut, I think.
Yeah? Okay.
One cut.
Phil Ochs. And we thank you again, Phil.
Once again, God bless you all.
And that's the man who, has just did it. Don't part the studio, when you leave, and then I may fall in on the way out now, okay? All right.